Hello humans, I'm Yoshiller, and welcome back to some more Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's been quite a while since I recorded the previous part of the walkthrough and a lot has happened, and I won't get into it right here, but what's important is that I intend to finish what I started, and that means finishing up my walkthrough here. Especially since I'm already 107, 108 parts deep, and I already got all the Korok seeds, so sunken cost fallacy, I'm so close to the end, may as well finish what I started. Well, in context of the whole game, there's not too much left to do, but in isolation per part, I've still got a number of things to do, so let's go ahead and get started. And once again, I'd like to apologize that everything has taken so long regarding this walkthrough. A decent chunk of my commentary throughout the walkthrough, especially when I was finding Light Reach in the depths, was spent basically discussing how I didn't want to repeat the same mistakes for when I was completing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, where I spent 2 years completing the former walkthrough and a year and a half completing the latter. And, well, whoops, life happened, and now for Tears of the Kingdom, I'm about to reach the 2-year mark for this walkthrough too. But hey, I've already accepted the fact that my viewership and interest for this walkthrough has already dwindled off long ago, so at this point, I'm completing what I started for me. I can either be the creator that gives up on projects that don't perform well, or I can be the creator that finishes what he starts, even if it takes years to do so, and now you know which option I've decided. Anyway, here we are, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. In the previous part, I aided Addison in putting up all sorts of signs advertising the President Hudson Company throughout Hyrule, and once I put up the last sign, he gave me some fabric. And now, before I dive on to what I'm going to do in this part of the walkthrough, let's just say that there is one perk of spending so much time between the previous part and now. In the interim, I was able to get a hold of 2 extra amiibo. Or rather, I was able to get in contact with someone that has these 2 extra amiibo, and that someone is Ant Dude, a popular creator for whom I now edit videos. So, special thanks to Ant Dude for providing me his Tears of the Kingdom Zelda amiibo and his Ganondorf amiibo. Back in part 61 of this walkthrough, which I intended to be the halfway point of this walkthrough, I showcased the amiibo compatibility of this game, and I mentioned that there were 2 more amiibo that I hadn't yet obtained because they were released while this game had come out, that I wanted to showcase at some point in the future. And that future is now the present! I'm going to showcase the compatibility for the Zelda and Ganondorf amiibo! So this is the Zelda amiibo, the Tears of the Kingdom Zelda amiibo. Okay, well this might take a couple of tries, I acknowledge. And then, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and try out the Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf amiibo. Yeah, these amiibo came out well after the game had come out. They came out while I was working on this walkthrough. And much like any other Zelda series amiibo, you can tap them in on the NFC reader of your controller. Okay, why is this not going? This is how you know the Ganondorf amiibo is truly evil. Oh, nope, there it goes. Okay, we got meat, we got explosives. That's kind of fun, right? This is just like an explosive box. I think so. I think the idea is that you can fuse it to a weapon and use it as an explosive that way, but I'm gonna pass on that. I'm mainly interested in the treasure chest here. Huzzah! All right, I got Ganondorf's immediately. So you get exclusive glider fabrics with every Zelda series amiibo, and that includes the Tears of the Kingdom Zelda and Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf amiibo. They have their own fabrics. So I got Ganondorf's immediately. I did not get Zelda's immediately. But just as well, even if you don't really care much about the fabrics. Oh yeah, so here's the Gerudo-King fabric that I just got from Ganondorf. So yep, it looks like it could be used to make a paraglider. Yes, I could attach this to the paraglider if I was so interested. And then in the previous part, I also got Addison's fabric for helping him put up all the signs, which is a very amusing reward. And I don't intend to use either of these, but I might use the Princess Zelda one. So I'll go ahead and try to get that in just a moment. Let me go ahead and save the game and then back out to here and kind of cheese the system a little bit and change the time, because you can only scan each amiibo once per day. And since I did not get Zelda's fabric immediately, I got to go ahead and fast forward to a different day. So it's under system. Got to go to date and time. Now, under normal circumstances, I don't really cheese my system like this. I didn't do this for Animal Crossing. I didn't do this for... I guess I did do some Pokemon shenanigans with this, didn't I? But still, I don't normally do this. I am merely doing this for this one amiibo showcase. And then that's kind of it. Well, I guess I did this with the previous amiibo showcase as well. But you get the idea. I'm doing this for the purposes of a walkthrough, for the purposes of a video demonstration. All right, I could have gotten lucky and just gotten Zelda's fabric at the same time as I got Ganondorf's fabric, but this game doesn't want to work in my favor now, does it? I'm glad I got Ganondorf's fabric immediately. That's awesome. And as I was trying to say before I got distracted, because it tends to happen, you could just continuously tap amiibo, whether they're Zelda series or not, with this game and get whatever items fall from the sky, whether it be plants or fish or meat or whatever. But the Zelda series amiibo can They won't always, but they can give you glider fabrics. I already got all the other ones from amiibo. I'm just missing Princess Zelda's. But if I can get it right here, that would be awesome. And if I don't, at least I got a bunch of stam bulbs and Hyrule herbs, right? Well, I'll take an amber, but I really wanted that Zelda fabric. So now I gotta go ahead and repeat the process, change the time again, and go again. I mean, yeah, if I really wanted to stock up on supplies and bulk up on items without spending my rupees, this would be a fast and somewhat efficient way to do so, continuously tapping amiibo and over and over and over. But, okay, I didn't get what I needed. But because this is a walkthrough, I'd kind of like to demonstrate how you can get everything just with what the game gives you. But since you can only get these fabrics with amiibo, then amiibo is what I shall use. But otherwise, I'm only going to get these items from the amiibo tapping in this video. I don't really intend to keep tapping amiibo to gain a bunch of supplies after this part. You know what I mean? If people at home want to do that, then yeah, go for it. It is a fast method. You spent money on the amiibo. You may as well get your money's worth, right? But as for me, I'll demonstrate how to get everything that can be obtained without the use of amiibo. But getting a few extra pumpkins or stam bulbs or whatever in the process, I mean, I'll take them, and I will only take them until I finally get that Zelda fabric. Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it. Alright, folks, you want to know the real reason why I haven't been able to post a Tears of the Kingdom video in months? It's because I spent months trying to get this Princess Zelda glider fabric! Okay, not really, but that's what it feels like. Can you imagine? Knowing my luck, it could take months. May as well get a shiny Pokemon of that. Here we go! Princess Zelda fabric. There you go. Just had to complain about it enough and then I'd finally get it. Huzzah! So this is the fabric that you get for scanning in the Tears of the Kingdom Zelda fabric. Glad I finally got it, and I got plenty of fish along the way. Tough fabric bearing a Princess Zelda design. It looks like it could be used to make a paraglider. Very good. I will most likely use this fabric on my glider going forward. It's been nice to have the Mipha fabric for so long, but I think for these final few parts of the walkthrough, it'll be nice to switch up my fabric. And I can do so by going back to the dye shop over at Hateno Village. Oh man, I wanted to make this joke at the beginning of this part, but I forgot. But man, I spent so long working on this walkthrough that they not only announced the next Zelda game, they announced the next game system and the next Zelda game for that game system, which is fortunately still a game in this timeline. But anyway, folks, enjoy Mipha's glider fabric, for this might be the last time that I use it in this walkthrough. And I do like Mipha's glider fabric, primarily because I like Mipha. But it is a nice looking fabric, and I'm glad that I used it over these past 40 or so walkthrough parts. But now I am ready to use another glider fabric for the remainder of this walkthrough. All right, so please rework the paraglider. All right, so here we go. So that's the one I've been using. Looks nice, pink, whatever, stands out in the dark. What we want, not the Demon King fabric, though that's the one I just got. We want the Princess Zelda fabric. Zelda has a couple different ones, but it should just be Princess Zelda, yeah? Oh, there you go. There you go. Green. Kind of resembles Tears of the Kingdom Link's color palette. I mean, in his default attire. Here we go. All right. Here's another fabric that I can only get that requires an amiibo that was released after this game came out. May as well use it for the remainder of this walkthrough because it took me so long to do the remainder of this walkthrough. All right. Here you go. That'll do her. Looking forward to your next visit. Now go out and paint the town red. Red, but I painted this fabric green from a reddish pinkish color. There you go. Look at that. And yeah, I like it. It's not as contrasting as the red pink that was on Mipha's fabric, but it is a nice design, and I look forward to using this for the next portion of the walkthrough. And while I'm here, I may as well have you go ahead and dye some other fabric. Right? Or not fabric, dye my clothes. It's unfortunate that it only changes the sleeve color and not the armor color. But I suppose changing the sleeve color to green will still be fine. I don't even have to be doing this. I just want to be doing this. I feel like it should have a different color. So here you go. We're gonna get the green sleeves! Yeah, I guess having the floor drop from underneath you is never not scary. I was gonna make a bit about how, Link, you shouldn't be scared of this. This is not the first time we've dyed clothes, but yeah, the sudden feeling of falling is always scary, and that's why rides like the Tower of Terror at California Adventure and whatever are still a little nerve-wracking. I too don't enjoy the idea of falling, and yet I still love roller coasters and whatnot. All right, Link, Let's go ahead and dye something else. What other options do we have? We can't do any of the outfits that make you look like Link from other Legend of Zelda games, but we can maybe do like the climbing gear or something. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So we're gonna change clothes. I don't know if we can do those. It shouldn't let me select the ones where I can't dye the colors. So we'll do the climbing gear. All right, at least this way, the colors will all match. Ooh. I kind of like all of them because at least this time around it actually changes the color for the entire outfit and not just the sleeves. But I guess it can't just do the sleeves because there aren't sleeves on this one. Okay, I think we'll do anything but blue. I like them all, but yeah, anything but blue. Brown, maybe, because I'm climbing mountains. I can make a case for the majority of these. I'm this close to just flipping a coin. It's either gonna be brown or gray. We'll do brown. Because when else am I gonna use brown attire? All right, we'll do brown. There you go. This way it'll all match, and even if it doesn't look great or whatever, I've got other outfits that are much brighter and much more contrasting to the environment around me, okay? So there you go. Yep. As I was saying, that idea of falling is never going to be quite comfortable. It is definitely a fear factor. Some people can adjust to it. I guess that's why they go skydiving and whatnot, or bungee jumping or whatever, but that's a little different because you're controlling when the fall is gonna happen. This is not as controllable, you know? But anyway, yeah, I like this brown attire. I think it looks quite nice. Anyway, you might be wondering, Yoshiller, it's been like 15, 20 minutes. What are you actually going to do in this video? This is a walkthrough, right? Are you gonna walk us through something? Because so far you've walked us through the usage of some amiibo. Well, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. You see how this lady still had a red exclamation point next to her dialogue? That means that there is a side quest that I can receive from her. And one of the things that I still have to do in order to complete this walkthrough is finish all the side quests that exist within this game. Now, I don't know the exact amount of side quests that I still have to do, but I figured just to get back into the swing of things, I'm gonna do like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 side quests here in Hateno Village, including this very one. The two of us worked very hard raising them. They were almost good for harvest, but then a pack of monsters came and charged the field, so the whole crop is ruined. The two of us aren't tough enough in a scrap to send those monsters packing. What we need is a bodyguard with some muscle to stand and watch over the crops. Oh yeah? You want me to play bodyguard? You want me to treat this like some sort of tower defense? Because I can do that. Thank goodness there happened to be a side quest right here, because otherwise I was just gonna have to awkwardly explain what I wanted to do in this part. But yeah, in this part, I'm gonna start tackling some of the remaining side quests that exist here within Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, hope you won't blame me for retreating. I know this is short notice, but I'm set to go if you are. Ready to hold this field? Oh really, it's gonna be like a tower defense? We're just gonna stand here and hoard off some monsters? Well, I'm down. I'm ready if you're ready. And I don't think you understand just how ready I am, because I've gone ahead and collected all the Korok seeds and met with Hestu, so I am carrying the max amount of weapons that I can be carrying, and I've traveled all over Hyrule, so I've gone ahead and gained all sorts of powerful items that I can fuse to my weapons to be as strong as I can be. I've done all of the shrines, so I have as many hearts as I can have, excluding cooking food that would give me a couple of bonus hearts. And I've got the Master Sword. Tower defense! I've got a soft spot for tower defenses. I don't know if anyone knows that. You might be wondering then, oh yeah, what's your favorite tower defense? I don't really play that many. I just like them. It's a gameplay concept that's simple to understand. All right, here we go. Okay, it's just some bokoblins. Well, these are easy. In theory, you only gotta hit them twice. You gotta hit them once to knock all their bones over, and then another time in their skull while their bones are down so you can immediately defeat them. And now we're getting into the moblins, easy peasy. Hey, come here, buddy. I'm not done with you yet. And hey, maybe after I defeat all of you, maybe one of you can lend me a hand. Oh, I gotta be protecting you, right? You were saying something about retreating. I totally just did not read your dialogue. I have been rambling. Okay. Even so, easy peasy. Oh my God, you did 1/4 of damage to me? Prepare to face the consequences of your actions. I also only just now realized that this archer bokoblin here was left-handed. That's interesting. They're not always left-handed though, right? Like when I pick up their arms, that's their right hand? Yeah. Okay, hang on, we're gonna get you. There you go. Yeah, the moblins are right-handed. They're definitely whacking me with the stick with their right hands. And when I use a bow and arrow, I'm definitely a righty because they made Link right-handed in this game. But yeah, they hold the bow in their right hand and fire with their left. They're left-handed. I didn't know that. Crazy. Well, that's cool. That's very cool. But just when I pick up the bow, I fire it as a righty. Shame Link couldn't go back to being left-handed, but that's okay. Well, I respect the left-handedness as a lefty myself, but I can't let you come and get these crops. Okay. Any more? Is that gonna do it? Oh, I guess that's gonna do that. We've beaten so many monsters already that there can't be any more coming. No need to wait for sunrise to know it's over. Well, it is sunrise. Do you not see the glaring light coming out of the sky? Piercing through the clouds, shining down upon us, forcing us to cast a shadow, letting all the roosters know that it's time to go. Hey, look at my pumpkins. Oh yeah, so is this bokoblin hand right-handed? Or is it a lefty? It might actually be a lefty. Is that finger on the right there the pinky or the thumb? Can't tell. Also, I don't like that it's doing that so close to my rear, you know what I mean? It's kind of like it's trying to cop a feel. Well, you're not gonna cop much. Sun pumpkin, okay. So 108 parts into this walkthrough, and I've never gotten a sun pumpkin before. So if the rest of these are sun pumpkins, I need to get a photo of them for my album, for my, darn it, I can't even remember what it's called anymore. My Hyrule Compendium, there we go. All right, you go, sun pumpkin, there you go. One less photo that I'll have to purchase in the future. Great. Well, that side quest is done. But surely there are many, many more side quests that I have to clear before the walkthrough is over. And I'll do a couple more here in this part because I know that there are a couple more that I have to do here in Hateno Village. Oh man, I gotta get to school. I don't want to be late on my first day. Oh, I'm coming. Oh, I'm gonna be late. Out of the way, kids. I'm not gonna let you young ones be the reason that I'm late for my first day of class. All right, let's see. This is probably elementary school, right? Well, elementary school for me started back at like 8:15. Looks like I'm on time. Or is this more like a college, and if the teacher is 15 minutes late, then we're all legally allowed to leave? Link, you're back? My apologies for the outburst. Clearly, you're back in town then, but what of Princess Zelda? What, do you care about spoilers? Princess Zelda is still missing, which is the reason you came here alone. That makes more sense. Princess Zelda built the school, you see. She cared so much about the children, I'm sure this would be one of her first stops if she had returned. Right now, we're covering history, which was very important to Princess Zelda. We're focusing on Hyrule's history alongside the Calamity. You know, Link, you're welcome to sit on a lesson if you'd like. Oh yeah? Well, I don't see a chair. I mean, you've got a chair, unless that's the timeout chair. Actually, do you mind if I go upstairs real quickly? I think I was technically in here in the past because I was collecting like a Korok seed or something around here. Yeah, and then there's a bell up here. Okay, so technically I've been here before, but otherwise I have not been here before for the purposes of completing a side quest. So I'll go ahead and go back to class. Do you want me to just like squat behind the kids? Is this suitable for you? Less than ideal. You can see my new dyed clothing. Oh, I can't be on my legs like this all day. It's gonna drive me crazy. I probably could go on my knees. I hope I don't have to take notes because I don't really have a table. Okay, but in all seriousness, I thought maybe like a cutscene was gonna play where I'm just like forced to watch him while I stand in the back. Do I have to talk to you? Let's see. Today's class will be a history lesson. The story of Hyrule is deeply intertwined with the Calamity, and that is no exaggeration or embellishment. The Calamity has been visited upon the land of Hyrule several times before. It was sealed away 10,000 years ago by the sacred princess and a hero wielding the sword that seals the darkness. Isn't that just a fairy tale? Over time, history and legend sometimes blur together. All this stuff about 10,000 years ago and such, who cares? You got any pictures or proof to back up this so-called 10,000-year-old calamity? It's no fairy tale, I assure you. These are real historical events. This is a problem. I need to show them some kind of depiction of the calamity from 10,000 years ago. Otherwise, this lesson is over before it began. I'm sorry, Link. This isn't how I thought the lesson would go. If I had more foresight, I would have borrowed the screen depicting the calamity from Lady Impa's hall. Kakariko Village, where the hall is located, is also in Necluda, but it's too far of the northwest to visit. Yeah, no field trips. I understand. They're too young to appreciate them. Plus, I acknowledge that there are many monsters outside of there, and you don't have the proper protection to take care of a bunch of young ones as you travel from Hateno Village to Kakariko Village. But don't worry, I'll take care of it. First things first, I need my travel medallions. I've been sending those around, and I don't think I ever collected them from when I was collecting Korok seeds. So let's collect that one. And then there should be another one on some sort of sky island. Yeah, I set these on super high positions. Very good. We'll set one here. Tell your kids not to walk into this by accident. I don't want them randomly getting warped. Well, this is a way back. I guess they want to get warped anywhere. This is for me to go back. Well, all right then. Don't worry about it. It's just some crazy cool blue glowing mark outside of your school building that's easily distracting to the young, developing minds of children. But for now, I will go ahead and go to Lady Impa's hall, or whoever's in charge of it now, and I'll presumably get a photo of whatever you want me to get a photo of. So I can do that. And I guess now is as good a time as any to discuss the Nintendo Switch 2 and how both Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom will be getting Nintendo Switch 2 editions. And I will not be covering those editions in this walkthrough. And while it is nice that those editions bring the game up to 60 frames per second, and while I might record those 60 frames per second versions on my own time, I have no real reason to... Oh, is this not it? This is not it. I guess it's not this stone. Could it be upstairs? This is Lady Impa's hall. I'll try going upstairs real quickly to see if it's up there, maybe? Well, Lady Impa's in Lady Impa's hall. Oh, is it this? Is that why you're looking at it? Yes, it is. All right, so here we go. Let's get a nice, good photo of this. But yeah, while I might record the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of this game for my own purposes, just to gather some gameplay, if I do get it, I'm not even certain that I'm going to get it. I don't intend to record anything from that for this walkthrough. I'm going to be done with this walkthrough hopefully in like a week or two's time, and then be ready to move on with this game. I only just came back to the village myself. I have been thinking of those glimpses you had of the Light Dragons, or rather Princess Zelda's memories. Well, if you're just going to go straight into spoiler territory, although I guess I have to go through the spoilers in order for you to end up back in the spot in the first place, right? Anyway. The village is now in pious hands. You ought to devote your efforts to calming the effects of the upheaval. So, Link, perhaps you recognize what is shown on that screen. It is a part of our history which must never be forgotten, the Calamity. Oh, all right, I'll entertain it. The Calamity was the Demon King of ancient times, brought back to existence in the form of hatred manifest. Some of our youths believed the Calamity to be mere legend. You and I know better, of course. Shown here are the royal princess with the power to seal away evil and a warrior chosen by a legendary sword. This image depicts how, using 4 relics called divine beasts built by our ancestors, they drove off the Calamity. Yeah, do you want to just go and teach the class? Because this is exactly the type of information they could learn. Oh, that's what you're bringing up! All right, the children at Hateno School. Got it. So in case they came here before going to the Hateno School, you would have told me to go to the Hateno School to get the side quest. Well, that's okay. It works out. Why not drop by and take the lesson yourself? Why not drop by and teach the lesson yourself, Impa? You want to come with me? Grab onto my arm. Maybe you can warp with me. Or that's not how it works, because I'll be riding a horse and I'll be warping away or whatever. Anyway, I'm going back to school. I'm getting my GED, or whatever they call it in Hyrule. No worries. And rest assured, folks, in real life, I do have a high school diploma. I was on the honor roll. Still, I commend anybody that chooses to go back to school to get a GED. Completing school can be difficult, and anyone who chooses to do so should be awarded, not just the GED, but just with a celebration of some sort. All right, I'm ready if you're ready, dude. So, for this class, we'll be going over the Calamity again. Let's start by reviewing our last lesson. Mr. Simon, can you prove any of this? Isn't it more likely that over time, history and legend started to blur together? Aren't we still talking about that stuff that happened 10,000 years ago? Can you point to any paintings or images that actually show that there was a Calamity 10,000 years ago? Also, when are we ever going to actually learn this information? Shouldn't we be learning how to use, like, tax forms and apply for a job and whatever? When are we going to use information about the Calamity? That was 10,000 years ago. Anyway, that's what they would be saying. What's this? A screen depicting the Calamity class. Please take note here. This is a rare opportunity to see a primary source regarding the Calamity. Wow, this looks like the real thing. So the legend was true? That's amazing. You know, seeing this makes me feel like it might have happened yesterday. Well, if you've got documented proof, that's good enough for me. Go on, Mr. Simon, tell us the rest of the story about the Calamity. Of course. Thank you so much, Link. My lecture about the Calamity might run long, but I hope you'll stay for it anyway. I guess I have the option to skip it, but I may as well listen. The Calamity has visited this land of Hyrule several times over. However, 10,000 years ago, there were divine beasts built by the Sheikah using their advanced technology. Each of them was controlled by a skilled pilot as well. With the sword that seals the darkness and the power of the sacred princess, the ancient hero stopped the Calamity. That's me, by the way, that's Link. For a long while after that, the lands of Hyrule knew peace. But the time when the most people forgot about the Calamity was the moment when it returned to menace them once more. Tell us more! When did this all happen? This all happened about 100 years ago. It began with an oracle prophesizing the Calamity's return. The royal family took their cues from the legends of the past. They found and excavated the divine beasts. Skilled members of the Rito, Goron, Zora, and Gerudo peoples were selected to pilot them. They were called the champions. With the wielder of the sword that seals the darkness and the sacred princess, all the pieces from the legend were in place. But this time, the Calamity would not be so bested easily. Did something happen? Sadly, the sacred princess was unable to awaken the holy power within her. The divine beasts were taken over by the Calamity. Those selected to pilot them lost their lives in the process. Worse still, the hero wielding the sword that seals the darkness was badly hurt. Just when all seemed lost, the sacred princess came into her power and devoted her whole being to keeping the Calamity at bay for 100 years. Is everyone following along so far? After spending 100 years dormant, the hero wielding the sword that sealed the darkness awakened. His wounds healed. He won back the divine beasts with the help of several allies, including some of the champions' descendants. And in the end, the hero defeated the Calamity and the sacred princess stopped the evil one. Sorry, I got a little emotional there at the end. It's a true story, though. Yes, that would be the plot of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I suppose you can just jump straight into Tears of the Kingdom, right? You don't have to play Breath of the Wild. It helps to have played Breath of the Wild, but if you did it, that would be the plot synopsis of the previous game, just getting you caught up to speed. Ah, that went splendidly. Words cannot convey my satisfaction. And I couldn't have done it without you showing us the screen. Link, once again, thank you so much for your assistance. Oh, that's right. You should have something for all your help. Would this do? Hylian rice. Yeah, I guess I still have to do a designated cooking video to cook all the remaining recipes in the game, right? So I will gladly take that. Thank you so much. That's a shame, as it's a favorite of mine. You should taste it for yourself, Link. I'm gonna just eat it raw. I mean, I do like rice, genuinely. What a universally safe food. All right, the next lesson is economics. Well, before we get into that, I've been noticing these pictures that were here in the background while Simon was doing his lesson. And I gotta say, oh, hang on. I gotta say, I quite like the Zelda one that's in the lower left. That's some good artistry, if I may say so myself. And I do say so myself. Use some nice pictures. I'm glad they still had time for arts and crafts. I do feel as though that is a significant part of elementary school. I'm glad you're not just teaching them history and economics. Thank you for your contributions. History class is ordinarily a bit slow-paced for the children's taste. That last lesson may have been the first time I've seen them enjoying a history lecture so much. Our next class is a home economics lesson. Naturally, you're free to sit again if the subject interests you. You're already teaching them economics? Golly, I didn't take an economics class until I took AP economics in high school. Isn't this just elementary school? I saw them doing arts and crafts. Well, I didn't see them doing it, but I see the results of their arts and crafts. In history, yeah, I guess you can teach that anytime. Goron Spice is the stuff they sell in Goron City in the Northeast, right? If it's got Goron Spice in it, the answer can't be anything but curry. But that's the only other thing in it is raw meat, right? So obviously, the answer has to be meat curry. Yes, that's correct. That one might have been on the simple side for all of you. How about this one then? Take Goron Spice, Hylian rice, and everything nice. I mean monster extract, and what do you get then? Monster what? Aren't monster parts only used for medicines? Yeah, if you try and cook with monster parts, it's a disaster every time. Yeah, no one would eat curry meat with monster stuff. I call trick question. Hey, settle down, children. This lesson may be too advanced. Well, it would be if it was an actual economics lesson. Now it just sounds like a cooking lesson, which is fine. That's still arts and crafts, and I support that. Okay, so monster curry. But judging from your skeptical faces, you won't believe me unless I can put a dish of it in front of you. I'd love to make some curry for them, but I don't have any more monster extract. I'm told that it can be had in Terrytown up north in Akala. That's right, you can buy monster extract at that shop, can't you? Well, fortunately, I've already explored a decent chunk of the map, and even more fortunately, I've already put down this little travel medallion, so I will go ahead and demonstrate where you can get each of these cooking parts, right? So we got to get the Goron spice. You get that near Goron City here in the northeastern part of the map. Goron City is over here to the left. We'll warp here, we'll get the Goron spice, and then we'll head on out. Look at this fabric. You like this fabric? I like this fabric. It's a nice contrast to all the red, pinkish, orangish mountains that surround me, and it matches with Tears of the Kingdom Link's color under normal circumstances. I like this fabric. I hope you like this fabric. It's the fabric we're going to use for the remainder of this walkthrough. Anyway, here's the shop where I can buy the Goron spice, among other things. Tell you what, I'll buy the cane sugar as well, because I will need to do a cooking part later on this walkthrough. This way I can already be ready with the amount of supplies that I would need. And here you go. Goron spice, I'll take them all, because this is the only place where I can get them, as well as some maybe nearby stables or something. And while I don't need to buy any other items in the shop, and while I probably should be hanging on to my rupee supply, I will go ahead and buy the fire, fruit, and the arrows as well. So this is where you get the Goron spice. Next, I also need to get the monster extract, which back in Breath of the Wild you got from Tilton. But in this game, you can just buy it over in Tarrytown. They made it a point to mention that, and Tarrytown is back up here, near my house. I can go ahead and explore the exterior of my house real quickly, make sure that it's still standing after all these months of not having played the game, and then I can glide on over to Tarrytown using my Princess Zelda fabric. I hope you like the fabric. I like the fabric. It's the fabric I intend to use for the remainder of this walkthrough. And then I'll go ahead and get some monster extract. Oh, and then I had to get some more Hylian rice. He gave me Hylian rice for doing the previous side quest, but let's say you just want to know where to get Hylian rice. Well, I'll demonstrate where to get Hylian rice. Look at this fabric. There's my house. I'm using this new fabric beside my house. I hope this house likes my fabric. I like the fabric. It's the fabric that I intend to use for the remainder of this walkthrough. And that's my house. That's the house that I intend to have for the remainder of this walkthrough. But I don't need to go to the interior of the house right now, but I need to go to the central plaza of Tarrytown, or Tarrytown, or however you pronounce it. Here we go. I'm ready. I'm ready to get some monster extract. I'm gonna be your #1 customer for monster extract now that Kelton or his brother or whatever turned into a beast and then ran off. All right, here we go. Bomb flowers. I don't need to buy these, but I'm gonna buy these. I like just having the bombs. I don't wanna have to go and hunt down more, so I'll take them now that I have the opportunity to buy them. And then monster extract, I already have 9. I'll just buy one more. Thank you. All right, that's monster extract. Now let's go ahead and get some rice. Zora's Domain has rice. It's a shame that I'm not gliding into Zora's Domain because, you know, it'd be nice to be able to showcase my Princess Zelda fabric here in Zora's Domain because, I mean, do you like this fabric? I like this fabric. I would think the Zoras would like the fabric. It's the fabric that I intend to use for the remainder of this walkthrough. But anyway, they can at least see my newly dyed brown climbing attire. All right, so for this, because I've already been spending a lot of rupees in this part already, we're just gonna take all the rice, okay? Do I need to buy this rice? No. I just did the other side quest that gave me the rice. But I'm taking it. And then the tomatoes, sure. All right. I'll get some extra tomatoes because when you cook the tomatoes, you get food that gives you extra hearts, and I can see myself using that in the nearby part of this walkthrough. All right, so we're going back to school. I didn't miss school, right? School hasn't let out yet. I've been warping all over, and by all over, I mean just to Goron City and Tarrytown and Zora's Domain, but I'm coming back to school. I'm gonna show you how it's done. All right. What I don't know is, I'm assuming I have to cook it first. Well, I don't know that. Maybe I just have to give you the supplies and you'll cook it for me. Let's go in just in case. And then if he wants me to cook it, then I will cook it. And if he doesn't want me to cook it, then I will still cook it afterward. Easy peasy. All right, let's go back to school. All right, it's 1:20 p.m., so the kids should have just come back in from lunch. It's time to continue our lesson on home economics. It's barely home economics, though, unless you're going to teach people like what you should sell it at to make a profit. So let's see. I spent maybe 10 or 15 rupees or maybe even 20 rupees on one bottle of monster extract and then like maybe 4 rupees on some Hylian rice and then like 5 rupees on a piece of Goron spice. So let's say 20 rupees total. Well, you want to sell it at double that to make a profit, right? So you have good profit margins. That's economics. All right, and then you want me to cook it. All right, well, fortunately for you, I've still got a fair share of portable pots here in my Zonai devices. At least I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, I've got more than plenty. All right, because evidently I don't cook a whole lot in this walkthrough. All right, so here we go. So you wanted the Hylian rice, you wanted the monster extract, and then you wanted the Goron spice. The Goron spice is at the bottom, right? Because I only like recently bought that. There you go. All right, boom, easy peasy. Or it would be easy peasy if my inventory wasn't already full of food that I kept getting for putting up the Addison signs. Frankly, this is why I liked it more when he gave me rupees. And it is nice to have a full supply of food, but now I'm too scared to have any of them right now. I guess we can do the Electro Elixir. I'm never really going to use shock resistance, and I've got clothing that does the same thing. So here we go. Goron Spice. And everything nice. There we go. And Hylian Rice. There you go. Let's see if a Powerpuff Girl comes out of this. There we go. And Monster Curry, and also, more importantly, one less food that I have to cook in the future. All right, I got your precious Monster Curry, all right? How's this? It's time to continue our lesson on home economics. If you take Goron Spice, Hylian Rice, and mix it in Monster Extract, what do you get? The teacher's confused again. Mr. Simon, you're the one who taught us monster parts should only be used for medicine. Yeah, if you try to cook with monster parts, it's a disaster every time. No one would eat a curry made with monster stuff. All right, here, whatever. You know what? Here's your curry. There you go, dude. Go ahead and take that. This is Monster Curry, the genuine article. Class, come here and see this. This curry was prepared using monster extract. I take it that's the one food you can cook with monster extract. Maybe there is something else, but I'll figure that out in due time. Okay, and I don't know all the kids by name. I should have been paying attention to that, but I don't. Delicious! I don't know. That's right, everyone! Ordinarily, monster parts are only to be used in medicine, but monster extract can be used in meals as well. Okay, so you can use it in other foods, because you said it could be used in meals. But monster extract, not just monster parts, because otherwise then the kids are right. If you cook with monster parts, you get dubious food every time, and it's gross and it's whatever. But monster extract, you can cook it into certain things. I'm not much good at history, but you made it fun, Mr. Link. And the curry tasted great. I pretty much think of you as my teacher already anyway. Thanks, Mr. Link. Can't wait for our next lesson with you. You're here with the students too. You've earned the right to use the school's field. That's the one behind the schoolyard. Space is limited, so you can't plant an entire farm back there, but use what we have to cultivate whatever you'd like. Uma typically tends the field. Why don't you talk to her to get things set up? Next time I'm planning a test that will cover everything we've studied up to now. Great. Cooking and the history of Hyrule. An interesting selection of topics. Although I do acknowledge when I was in elementary school, we had teachers that had to teach a variety of things too, right? But still, that's very specific. All right, so he wanted me to talk to Uma. He said I could use the fields behind the school, right? I mean, this isn't behind the school, but this is near the school. Is this Uma? Well, she's got her, yep, this is Uma, and she's got a red exclamation point. Okay. Hello there. Hello, Uma. Well, I wondered when you'd be by. Did you? I only got permission to use this place like 2 seconds ago. Simon said we should ask you what to plant in this here pot. You just showed up when I was finishing the prep work for it. I could grow pumpkins, carrots, tomatoes, wild berries, wheat, rice, or melons. If you bring me one of those, I'll extract the seeds and plant them for you. Before you decide, I should admit one thing. I have more experience with some crops than others. I don't know too much about raising Endura carrots or hardy radishes. You'll have to forgive me if the yield on those end up being a little lower than the rest. Okay, got it. So you want me to get you stuff that you can grow, but no Endura carrots or hardy radishes. Well, now, let's get down to it. What would you like to grow? Okay, so you have to plant it for me. I can't just manually plant it Animal Crossing style or whatever. All right. So no Endura carrots or... Oh, I mean, I guess I could select them. She just said the yield on it would be less than usual. Well, darn it. Those are the things I have the fewest of. Those would be the things I'd want. All right, well, the Hydro Melon. I mean, they're not hard to get. Fortified Pumpkin. Wild berries. Oh, it's letting me go through all the materials, but thankfully it's only highlighting the ones that I can actually select. Okay, well then, you know what? I don't have that many pumpkins. Certainly, I'll take that from you and be pleased to do it. Can't return anything once you hand it over, mind, but if you feel like planting something else, come see me. Oh, and I hope you'll let me know about your first harvest so I can be there to see. I'm already hankering to see how the crops turn out, but you have to know the important part of growing crops is to take your time raising them. You can't expect to thrive while you kill time at an inn or a bonfire. That ain't how things are done. The veggies know. Got it. So you can't fast forward time by going to an inn or sitting at a fire. She is explicitly telling me that because the veggies know, apparently. How amusing. You need me to pass real world time. You need me just to stand around and wait for stuff to happen. Which is not how I like to do things, but it's how things must be done. Well, I'll tell you what. Can you grow 2 things at the same time then? Is that okay? I'm gonna have to wait anyway. The only reason I'm able to work the fields again is because Princess Zelda built us that school. Hope they find out what happened to the princess soon. Well, that depends. Do you care about spoilers? I can't return anything. Okay, that's fine. If you say so. We had a nice little garden going on here, but I don't mind pulling it up if that's what you want. Hang on. Well, okay, are you replacing what you already put in there? Whatever. Okay, I have even less Tabantha wheat than I do pumpkins, so if you don't mind planting more wheat, I'll go ahead and harvest more wheat. All right. I was hoping you would plant the two of them at the same time, but whatever. If it had to be one or the other, then maybe it's fine if it's just the wheat. But you have to know, the important part of growing good crops is to take your time raising them. You can't expect them to thrive while you kill time at an indoor bonfire. That ain't how things are done. The veggies know. Well, you know what? This is not a veggie. This is a wheat product. But all right, I'll leave you to it, and then I'll find some way to pass some time. A convenient way to do so would be for me to do some other side quests, but I think for the sake of organization, I'll just go ahead and let this side quest play out. I'll complete it. Maybe I'll do one more in this part, or maybe this is the last side quest that I'll do in this part. Not certain yet. I acknowledge this part has been all over the place, but then again, most of my Tears of the Kingdom walkthrough parts have been. So, I'll pass time in real life. I'll put my Switch down for a little bit, and I will return back in just a moment. There you go. After planting something, she can plant something else instead. Okay, hopefully she's growing 2 different items then. All right, I've left my game on for a couple hours while I tended to some other matters, so I have artificially inflated my total in-game time, but hopefully that also means that the harvest is ready, that it's time to grow crops and the like. So I see some stuff. Does that mean that it's ready, or that this is just like some in-between phase and I gotta check again later? Because I have plenty of other things I can tend to if you need me to occupy my time elsewhere. Let's see, we've got the little red circle with the exclamation point in it. Let's see what you got, Uma. Well, if it ain't Professor Link. Professor Link, I like the sound of that. Thanks for being so patient. What do you think? They're tasty looking, aren't they? I was happy to tend them for you, Professor Link. I can get used to that. It's all the same to me what you do with the produce we grow here, and if you want to grow something else, let me know. Well, that completes the side quest, which is the more pressing matter, but hey, if I can go ahead and take this wheat for myself, that's a nice bonus, which I imagine is the point of this, right? So do I gotta talk to you to get the wheat, or do I just gotta cut it down myself? Let's give it a try. All right, I'll take the wheat. So let's see, I gave you 1 piece of wheat, and in exchange, looks like I get 9 pieces of wheat. So you get a surplus of 8 for every piece of crop that you give her that she's capable of growing. Although, I guess this also answers the other question I had, which was, are you gonna grow both the wheat and the pumpkin, or was it just the wheat? It's just the wheat. Okay, well, then in that case, if I'm able to, I'm gonna go ahead and give you another pumpkin and see if you can grow that, and then I'll check back in a future walkthrough part and I'll collect the pumpkin then. All right, I don't need the pumpkin right now. I just wanted to complete the side quest now, so I don't need to stand around for another 2 hours. I can wrap up this part and then check back in the next time I want to record. So here we go. Let's go ahead and give you the fortified pumpkin because that's what I gave you previously. So here you go. Grow one of those. Get a bunch of those. If you change your mind, that's fine. Just come talk to me about it. Takes time to raise crops, but once they're grown, you can harvest them when you want. It's your field, Professor Link. Thank you. All right. We'll check in on that in a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean in a future walkthrough part. I don't think it'll be the very next walkthrough part. It might not even be the walkthrough part after that. But it'll be some sort of future walkthrough part, if I remember. Well, I was going to end this part of my Tears of the Kingdom walkthrough there, but I thought that the side quests that I covered in this part, though they are necessary for 100% completion, were a bit mundane. They just required me to talk to certain people, right? I didn't really do anything action-packed or eventful. So I decided to go ahead and do one more side quest that I think will fulfill that craving, and I think I found just the one. So at Hateno Beach, if you take the pathway down from the tech lab, there will be this bottle. To whoever finds this letter. You gotta help me out! I was out fishing when I got caught in a storm and had to run into a nearby cave to take shelter. Just when I was starting to dry off, this big rock came down and trapped me in here. I've managed to get some bright bloom seeds through a gap and into the water as a sort of marker. If I'm lucky, the seeds will blossom and the tide will take this letter to the flowers to the shore. Hey, that's pretty resourceful. I commend your creativity. If you're reading this, it must have worked! So whoever you are, I got a favor to ask. Could you follow the trail of bright blooms back to this cave and get me out of here? It'd be a real help. I can do that. You don't want to follow a couple of flowers here in the ocean? I can do that. But the ocean's a big place. How far am I going? How long have you been trapped? Well, in any case, it seems as though I have the necessary supplies right over here because the game designers were generous enough to make that the case in most situations. So we've got this one wood plank here. I've got a fan here, and then I guess it wants me to use this sail that's behind it. It would be more beneficial if I had a steering stick instead, but I could use, oh, no, hang on, over there in the distance. There is a steering stick. Okay, in that case, let's go get the steering stick. All right, let's not overcomplicate things. One steering stick, one platform, and one fan is typically all I need to get things situated, especially when it comes to traversing across the water. So in that case, we're gonna use this wooden plank that's slightly wider. I don't have to, I'm going to. There you go, I could use a skinnier platform, but this will do the trick. And let's go ahead and make sure that this steering stick is facing completely forward. All right. That way it runs, I guess, perpendicular to the fan behind it. Here we go, ready? And we move, we are off the shore, and I will follow the bright bloom seeds. I guess it's also a good thing that I'm doing this side quest at nighttime too, huh? So hang on, are you gonna be all the way over that island there in the distance? Potentially. Although it does look like the bright bloom seeds curve around a little bit. No, they're still going kind of straight. And I suppose if I wanted to, I could stop and pick up each individual bright bloom seed, but one, it's a time sink. Not what I need right now, especially since I've already lollygagged enough in this very walkthrough part. And two, bright bloom seeds are typically easy to come by. I've got a surplus of them, especially the smaller ones, so I don't really feel the need to stop for these individual ones here in the ocean. It is suboptimal. Okay, hang on. So you want me to go to this little rock here to regain my energy. I suppose this is done so that I can charge up my battery or something, and also, if you use certain devices for too long, they disappear. So thank you to this game and its designers for giving me a little resting point, a little pit stop, while I go ahead and get another fan strapped to the back of it. And this little rock here, I dare say call it an island. This little island here even has a battery. So in case I didn't have sufficient battery charge, I could use this to hopefully reach my destination. But I do have sufficient battery charge, and this is still appreciated. So thank you, designers and developers, for being oh so nice to the players of this game, including me. Okay, so are we, no, it looks like there's more bright bloom seeds in this direction. Again, good thing I'm playing this at nighttime so I can actually see the bright bloom seeds. I guess we're not going over to the island in the distance. I could be going over to this island in the distance. Although didn't the guy mention something about having to seek shelter and getting stuck by a rock? There's no way there's a cave or a well over on that other island, because at this point in the walkthrough, I've officially explored every cave and well and gotten the rewards for both of them. So it's not gonna be this island. All right, follow the seeds. Oh, yeah, there are seeds over in the distance over there. So they really do wrap around, huh? But then how did the seeds get all the way specifically over to there? What do they just kind of go out and then come right back over to the shore? Wouldn't the tides bring it to the shore? Although, actually, now that I'm paying more attention to it, I am kind of going against a current, aren't I? There is a current here. I'm not quite used to there being a current in Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, even when I was doing rivers and stuff, I guess there was a current, and there were messages and stuff being moved down the river. But I'm not used to, like, the ocean having a current. Then again, despite the ocean being a pretty significant part of our world, and being a pretty decent chunk of the map of Hyrule here, I never really sailed along the ocean here, did I? Only for brief moments to go to Eventide Island or to maybe get a Korok seed or two, but yeah, I guess I never really just rode around the perimeter of the Hyrule map, huh? So it would make sense that I never saw a current here in Hyrule. But yeah, now I really see the current. Now I really see the tides pushing against me. All right, well, good thing I'm strong and versatile and well stocked on supplies and battery charge. As long as the fan on the back doesn't randomly disappear like other Zonai devices will tend to do after a certain period of time, I should be good. But even the battery that the game gave me hasn't disappeared yet, so the fan should stick around for a bit. All right, I guess I gotta go inside this cave. But again, I've already visited every cave and well in the game, so I must have already visited this cave at some point then. Yeah, I even have it marked on my map. Like, I came in here, it says I have rare ore deposits in here based on the marking that I put on the map, and I see it already. All right, Yunobo, your ability could actually come into play here. Go ahead and smash that open, please. You got the lizard too, nice bonus. Actually, the lizard's gone. As is whatever would have been in that rare ore deposit. Well, Yunobo, I'm never using you to smash open the rare ore deposits again. Thankfully, there is another rare ore deposit in here, and I'll go ahead and smash this open the old-fashioned way with a weapon that isn't blunt at the end. Boom, baby. Well, they gave me a ruby, which is more than just a regular amber, which is more than I can say for the little deposit that Yunobo smashed. Okay, so maybe I came in here before, but I never moved this rock aside. I don't know, I haven't played this game in months. I don't know what the last thing I did in here was. But there is another rare ore deposit. Nope, and there's a dude in here. Okay, well, I'll tell you in a moment. Oh, topaz and a ruby. These rare ore deposits just keep getting better and better. Whoa, who are you? You know what? I don't care. If you're here, then I'm saved. I've been stuck in here for ages. Did you find my message in a bottle and come to rescue me? It really worked. I knew it was a long shot, but it was worth it. Yeah, you are resourceful. I commend you for that. After one went down in Lurelin Village, I couldn't exactly refresh my stock of fish. That's when a storm kicked up. I tried to shelter this cave, but got shut in. Yeah, things were pretty bad for a while, but look at me now! That bottle really turned things around. If this lucky streak keeps up, it's gotta bode well for business. Here, this is for you! I picked it up off the ground here in the cave. That sounded better in my head. It's a nice reward, honest. I was planning to take it home with me once I got out. Ooh, a silver rupee. Don't mind if I do. I'll gladly take that. You're saying you just found that on the ground here in the cave? I really owe you. A little reward's the least I can do. All right, I'm out of here. If our paths ever do cross again, you should buy some fish off me. Uh-oh, this isn't the time to play the peddler, huh? No, but if you have a fish shop in Lurelin Village, that's quite useful for me. Anyway, thanks again, and so long. That'll be very useful for when I inevitably go after all the recipes in this game. But for now, that's another side quest down, and a more eventful side quest at that. Required me to be crafty, set sail, and commend a guy on his resources. And I got to go ahead and get these rare ore deposits too. And I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and smash open a couple of the random extra non-rare ore deposits here in the cave. And then I think I will go to Lurelin Village real quickly. Because I am also again remembering that I can go to Lurelin Village and get a cooked meal for me, free of charge. And it'll be a meal that I have not yet obtained. So it'll be one less meal that I have to cook in the future when I do have to cook all the recipes in the game. So I'll stop by here real quickly. And then maybe in the next part, I'll start the next part by looking for that guy's fish store, and I'll buy some fish, and then we'll see what other side quests that I have to still complete here in the land of Hyrule. It's primarily going to be side quests that are at stables and stuff, so that's also why I decided to go ahead and tack on this side quest to this video. Because it's close enough to Hateno Village, and it's certainly not at a stable, so I'll go ahead and do it now, and I did it, and now I can go ahead and get myself an extra little food recipe. Alright. Although, because it's 3:30 in the morning, the restaurant's not going to be open, huh? Yeah, not all services can be open 24 hours, especially not ones that are food-based, and even the ones that are food-based often have limited menus past midnight. Anyway, all right, here we go. Please make yourself at home. Yes, we'll go ahead and stay till noon. Okay, so we'll just do noon. Thank you, thank you. I've already got full hearts. Thank you, thank you. All right. We'll get the hearts. We'll get the sleep. We'll go to the restaurant, we'll get the food, and then we'll get the outro to this very walkthrough part. But you guys gotta stick around. You guys gotta see what special food I'm gonna get. It could be some crazy recipe that I never would have discovered had I not looked it up previously. So let's see what we got. Or it could be something significantly mundane. I'll tell you what it won't be. It won't be monster curry, because I made that in this very part. And you gotta give me something that I haven't made yet. I know that there's at least one recipe that I haven't made yet, so let's see what you got. All right. You insist on making me try things that I've never tried before. All right, I'll take it. Meat curry. Yeah, that sounds mundane enough, but I've never had it before, so I don't have to worry about cooking it in the future. And fortunately for you, I had one extra slot of inventory for food. I gotta remind myself in the future to clear that up. We'll see. Maybe that'll happen in the next part because I'll fight a bunch of enemies and I'll get bodied and then I'll need to heal myself by eating a bunch of food. But for now, that wraps up this part of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. We are now one part closer to the end. But I'm not about to break, all right? I'm gonna go ahead and complete all the remaining side quests in this walkthrough, and that might happen in the next part or in the part after that. And then I'll truly be in the home stretch. But seriously, thank you all for watching, and I do hope to see you all in future videos. But for now, bye-bye, humans. Whoosh! And so, we've reached the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please click on the like button or leave a comment. Either of those actions would really help me out. And hey, in case you didn't know, I have another channel called my Blue channel where I frequently post editorial and discussion type videos. You can head over there by clicking on the video icon in the lower right corner. So if you wish to watch something a little more relaxing or just need some more background noise, please consider checking it out. Either way, thank you so much for watching.